As we continue our series of insightful conversations with industry leaders, we are delighted to welcome Rajat Joshi, the founder and director of EmergeFlow Technologies. With a robust background in software engineering and a passion for innovation, Rajat has been instrumental in driving digital transformation through automation and AI solutions. Under his leadership, EmergeFlow has emerged as a prominent player in the tech landscape, delivering cutting edge solutions that enhance efficiency and productivity across various sectors. Today, we will delve into Rajat's journey, his vision for the future of automation, and the impactful work being done at EmergeFlow. Welcome, Rajat.
Thank you so much.
It's such a pleasure having you here. And the more I read about you, I think your journey has been phenomenal. From a tech evangelist that you've been, and opening your own technology and AI startup company. I think it's been an extremely interesting journey for you.
It's been, that's true. So it's been like 4 years since we started, and we started with RPA, robotic process automation. Eventually, we added a few more technology avenues in our servings. Currently, we work with RPA, AI, this data science, data analytics team that we have as well. So yeah, absolutely exciting journey, and that still continues.
Okay, I am very curious, and I'm going to ask you this. Do you think you've taken up a lot on your plate at a very young age? It's been a couple of years that you've moved from a tech, profession to becoming a founder. But how do you find this entire evolution that you've gone through?
Yeah, like I mentioned, it's exciting. I used to feel that I have a lot of things on my plate, but slowly I have gotten used to. So today I don't feel like I have too many things. I have learned to manage too many things, to be honest. But the initial days were a bit harder. So I was just used to work at tech. I was a developer before I started. So I used to work at Savage before I started EmergeFlow, and I only knew technology. I didn't know any other aspects of how to run a business. There is finance, there is operations, there's sales, HR, all of those different things I didn't know about. So initial few months, initial couple of years, I would say, were full of struggles, full of figuring out different things, and trying to see what works, what doesn't. But now, as we are entering into the fifth year of the organization, we have slightly started settling down and all of that.
Wow. Rajat, how did you start EmergeFlow Technology? If we have to go back, 4 years back, if you can just take us through that part of your journey about EmergeFlow.
Sure. So 2021, it was a bit of lockdown, a bit of unlock, and all of that happening. I was working from home at that point in time, and like I mentioned, I worked at Savage. It was a service company. I myself was working in RPA, a few RPA products I was handling. And then, of course, I had this thought from a long time that I have to start something of my own. Of course, I lacked experience initially. Then this thought started getting built in my head, and at one point, I decided, okay, let's start. Let's leave the job and start. I already had one or two clients before I started, and then I started working with them. It was then slowly we built a team and all of that. So that is how it followed.
So it was a gradual process,
Hmm.
and I think the transformation that you've seen has been extremely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Challenges and achievements and milestones. Fantastic. So could you explain about this robotic process automation, or RPA as we call it, and how does it benefit business across different industry, Rajat?
Right. So RPA is basically automating workflows or manual repetitive processes, right? So companies have a lot of repetitive processes, tasks in their operations, or probably in their finance departments, HR departments, all of that. And these processes, people are employed to do finish those tasks and do those processes. So it becomes repetitive, it becomes boring, it becomes a lot of manual, and companies lose a lot of time and cost on this. So that is where automation comes into picture. RPA can mimic human behavior, like a human would click on something, it would type something, and it can also go beyond that. It can call APIs, it can hit databases and all of that. So basically, automating the processes in the most efficient way possible is something I would define RPA as.
Okay, that's fantastic. But how do you integrate artificial intelligence with RPA in your project? So, if I have to, know a little bit more about it, my question is that what are some of the key advantages when you look at this combination of AI and RPA?
So AI, I would say, a couple of years ago, the world started seeing what generative AI is, and the initial days were more about experiencing the magic, experiencing the power, and for majority of the time, people have been clueless about how to use this AI in actual business problems, right? So they know how to play with ChatGPT, they know how to generate poems and all of that, but they don't know how to use this power into their business. So RPA, in my opinion, or automation is a great way to leverage the AI power into your businesses. So there is a process which you're already doing, which is highly manual, repetitive, and there are a couple of decision making points, or there is a bit of classification required, data classification, all of that. So that is where you use RPA and you integrate AI into that. So it becomes intelligent process automation, IPA, as we keep on calling it.
Okay, wonderful. So, talking a little bit about our organization, GTT Data Solutions, we focus on dual intelligence. So, how do you see the synergy between human intelligence and artificial intelligence playing out when we talk about the future of digital transformation?
Yeah, absolutely. So, dual intelligence or co-intelligence, as we could talk about it. So, I was reading about Ethan Mollick the other day. So, he's a professor, Wharton University professor, and he teaches innovation over there. So, this guy keeps on talking about AI a lot. He mentioned that one of the things that he mentioned was how homework is dead in their university. He no longer gives homework to the students because students know how to get answers from ChatGPT and all of that and just submit it over to the
Yes,
professor.
yes.
So he mentioned that the tasks or the processes or the challenges or the problems that we'll solve as humans in future would be having a combined solution of AI and human intelligence, and that is what we could call co-intelligence or dual intelligence as well. So a few examples, like a lot of people use these AI tools. Like for example, if you query ChatGPT or Gemini and all of that, a lot of people use to do their own work. Like if I want to create a report, I would ask ChatGPT to create a report for me, and it does this beautifully. But many very few people do this to increase their own thinking capabilities. So there are ways of doing this. So I have tried some of those ways, like you ask ChatGPT, tell some of those scenarios that you have been thinking about, and tell it to ask questions to you. So you would answer those questions, and it would ask you beautifully intelligent questions. So this is something that we could try in order to increase our own thinking capability alongside AI, because AI is going to advance. It is going to do many things that humans are today doing. So how do you integrate your own intelligence along with the machine intelligence that has been there is the key going ahead.
Okay. If I have to dive a little deeper, and
Mhm.
it's just that my human mind is curious to know with the way artificial intelligence is taking over
Yeah.
our daily life, our daily functionality over a period of time. You, as a founder, do you think that this is going to be like a big boon for human civilization, or will it come with its own consequences?
Yeah, both yes and no. So basically, I look at AI as a very groundbreaking innovation. So the way electricity was invented, for example, or railways were invented, and it changed the world in many ways. So it had really good applications, and it eased a lot of jobs that humans were doing, as well as it created a few problems as well. So That is how I see at AI. So it is a big innovation. It is going to help people in a lot of ways, in a lot of unimaginable ways. Today we can't imagine so many things, but it will come with its own problems. So like I mentioned, if we rely too much on it, we'll lose our thinking capacities, lose our problem solving, attitude and capabilities. So if we want to don't go into those problems, don't go into those directions, there are certain things we'll have to do, but it comes with its own advantages, its own shortcomings and all of that.
Perfect. So, Rajat, can you share a success story where EmergeFlow's RPA solutions significantly impacted a client's business?
Yeah, I think I would have a lot many stories to tell, but typically RPA stories are more about talking about time savings and cost savings. But I'll tell you a different story. This was a telecommunication company which we were working with, and there was a process of automating a report generation task. So.
Okay.
There was some daily report generation, some voice data, all of that. And telecommunication companies never stop. They work 24/7 because
True,
consumers
true.
are using internet and all of that. So this was a daily critical task, and they had to submit this report to management. There was a team of like three people working on this. This was a small project, small report, but it was critical, and two of them left just before we started working on that particular this thing. So there was just one person who was working on that particular process. Um, we we our, our team did the requirement gathering, the development, all of that. While we were in that process, I was a bit curious why this company is automating this particular process, because this was not bringing a lot of ROI to them, right?
Okay.
So this
Okay.
was 2 or 3 hours a day process, and saving 3 hours is not much of an ROI. So I was curious about this for a few days. Finally, I got a chance to speak with one of their management personnel, and this particular person was there as well in the call, who was running this process manually.
Okay.
So we spoke. I asked him, why do you want to automate this? So this particular person, he unmuted himself. He spoke. I'm in hospital right now, and today morning I have completed this report. So this report was so critical, and because his couple of team members left the company a few days ago, there was only one person who was there, who can work on that report. He was in hospital. This report was so critical, and it had to be completed regardless of his emergencies, his hospitalization, his weekends, his holidays, vacation, all of that.
Okay.
And then I realized this is the power of technology that we are bringing into people's lives. Because if we automate this process, this particular person would get a process, a work which is lesser critical, and he would have some day off or something in his life.
I think it's a very beautiful point made, Rajat, and I could not have agreed more. I completely resonate with that. Now, coming to the next question, I would like to know that what is your policy of using AI at workplace, and should developers be allowed to use AI generated code in projects? What is your take on that?
So this is a very interesting question, I would say, because AI has been coding a lot these days. It has improved its own capabilities a lot, and now people have increasingly started relying on AI generated code for their projects. But should they actually use that? So the policy is simple. If you can code without AI, you are allowed to use AI. Because if something you use AI, if something breaks, if there is a bit of part which AI is not able to do, then you should be able to step in and work on that project, because it is your responsibility to complete the project and not AI's responsibility to deliver the project. So that is kind of a policy that we have. But again, this I've started feeling this is subject to change, because AI is changing so many things in our lives. So probably this might change a bit in future, but today that is what we say. So whenever we are hiring a candidate and all of that, we don't ask them to use AI for the interview. We ask them to write the code or whatever the problem has been given to them. But once they join, they're free to use AI in the way that.
Okay, so you're keeping that opportunity or that forum open for them. If they want, they can use
Right.
AI.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now there's a lot of talks about vibe code. I think I've just
Yeah.
come across this term very recently.
Mhm.
So I wanted to know that do you vibe code and what do you think is going to be the future of vibe coding?
Yeah, I know this question was coming. So, vibe coding is something which is very recent. A couple of months or 3 months ago, someone coined this term, and vibe coding is basically using AI to code your entire application, right? So, whatever project you are using, you are working on, use AI applications to do that. I've started doing that a lot in last few days. I've explored tools like C-Line, Cursor, Windsurf, or Cloud Code, there's Gemini, and all of those. So everyone has different capabilities. The thing with vibe coding is there are certain things you can do with vibe coding. There are certain things you cannot do with vibe coding as of now. So you can still write code for simpler applications, for like POCs or MVPs and all of that, but you could not build probably an ERP system using vibe coding as of
Okay.
now. And also for deployment and all of those purposes, AI could guide you, but still you have to do it yourself. So vibe coding, I don't think at this moment is ready to replace the entire development ecosystem, but eventually it is helping a lot. So what I've seen is it has given tremendous results in terms of efficiency and how much time is saved, how quickly you reach the solution, the minimum viable solution, I would say, not
Mhm.
the entire project. But that is something that we should look at vibe coding for.
Wow. Okay. And as one of the founders who's dwelling so much in AI space,
Yeah.
what are some emerging trends in AI that you are excited about, and how is EmergeFlow preparing to leverage these trends?
So many things. I've been seeing a lot of applications of AI these days, but I'm in particular excited about a couple of things. So one thing is AI agents, and the other thing is voice. So I'll talk a bit about these. So AI agents is basically, like I mentioned, AI generative AI has been around for a couple of years now, and initially people were thrilled with the magic that they had in their hands, but they didn't know how to use this in business. So AI agents is something. Agent is basically a kind of a tool which will help you accomplish a certain process, certain task using AI. So now suddenly AI is usable directly in the businesses. So if you want to, run a recruitment process, and if you want to screen resumes for the 1,000 candidates who have applied to you, just use this particular AI agent and it will screen the resumes and give you report, right? So very simple, a very simple example. So AI agents is something I'm very excited about. The other thing was what I was talking about is voice. So few years ago, machine generated voice would sound a lot robotic, and it would just have a set script, kind of IVR like, and they would not have any human element in it. And these days, if you see, the voice that AI can have is full of emotions, is full of understanding of what the other person is saying, turning around the narrative with some kind of a different approach and all of that. So this is something that I'm very excited in, and we are actually building a couple of products around this for multiple use cases of how the voice turns around using AI.
Wonderful. And I come to the last question of
Mhm.
this episode. I definitely want to know what are the go to AI tools for Rajat?
I've been using a lot of them. So, like I mentioned, for vibe coding, I use C-Line. I've been using Cursor or Cloud Code for different purposes. For deep research, for example, I found Gemini as one of the best tools available out there. And of course, for our projects, we use OpenAI and Claude or Gemini again.
Wow. So I think the audience is going to take this cue from you. But it was wonderful to have you with us, Rajat. A very, very exhilarating and insightful conversation. And on behalf of GTT Data Solutions, we wish you and EmergeFlow Technology a great stint ahead and a great journey ahead. May you guys, achieve more and more milestones. But thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
It was
much.
great talking with you.
Thank you.